So welcome to another adventure of painting with Papa, and we're going to be painting little animals by Noah's Ark in the distance. In order to paint them, we have to be able to see little things. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this magnifying glass to make things look bigger. And I'm going to use it when I'm painting. And I'm going to use it to make everything look bigger. So we can use our magnifying glass to make the elephant look bigger. We can make that elephant look bigger. Ooh, it's kind of stretching him though. We don't want to stretch him. Even the angels are going to look bigger in a magnifying glass. See? Okay, now since we're painting tiny little images, we are going to use this number 2 level Petite monogram. And since we are painting very tiny images, we're going to be using this Petite monogram, and it's a 20. So it's got a big number, but that means it's a small brush. Can you see it? Yeah. And I got another brush that is just about as small. And this one is a liner brush. And you can see that it's small too, but it has a little bit different fiber in it. So it's going to paint with a little bit more flexibility. Okay, and I got another brush that's tinier. This brush is like a spotter brush. Okay, so the last brush is this number 18. See that 18 over there? That means it's a tiny brush, that 18. And it's a short liner. Short liner, 18. So remember, the bigger we paint this woolly mammoth, the closer he is to us. The smaller we paint him, the farther away he is from us. furry, long trunk. I wonder what an elephant would think if he met a woolly mammoth. If he would say, hey, you look like me, but you're different. Or would he say, I like the way you look? I think he would probably say, I like the way you look. You look a little bit like me, and you look a little different, but I like the way you look. I think that's what he would say. And I don't know if elephants or woolly mammoths had a language that they spoke. I guess they probably did, but I don't really know for sure. You see how tiny that is? We're using a tiny little brush, aren't we? Yep. And those tusks are long. Yes, they are. Kind of use a little bit of a technique that I told you about, and it's called base relief. So the black was already in there, so I just left a little bit of the black in there, and some of that's going to become his ear, and some of that's going to become his or her eye. So sometimes you gotta look for things in your painting that are already there. The woolly mammoth has a much smaller ear than the elephant. It's there, but it's little. Okay, now we're using this little liner brush because we're painting lines. Yep, we're painting lines. We're painting lines around the ear. Yeah. And now we're going to paint the eye. Kind of looks like a sheepdog with all that hair and then the eye in there. Yep. Looks a little bit like a sheepdog. Sure does. To me, he does. To me, he does. That's starting to look like a woolly mammoth? I think so. Okay. I'm going to paint a little bit more of this back leg. And a little bit more of this hoof. A little bit more of that hoof. A little bit more of that hoof. And a little bit. point on the ear. How's that? That's starting to look like our little woolly mammoth. I think so. Okay, now we got to make sure that everyone knows this is not part of his tusk. It's a noisy day here, isn't it? We got airplanes, we got cars, we got all kinds of things happening today. Okay. Now we're going to paint another woolly mammoth just to help us understand that that really is a woolly mammoth. Man, this front leg's got a little bit of black in it. Gotta make sure it's in there. Yep. Okay, now we're going to paint a darker woolly mammoth. And he's going to be coming in with a big tusk. See? I'm painting that big black tusk. And he's kind of hard to see because that's a dark blue. The question is, did the Lord provide that woolly mammoths made it onto the ark? I don't really know. But there is a wonderful little cartoon episode made by Hanna-Barbera, and it was about Noah's Ark. And I used to enjoy watching that. Yep. Okay, looks like that woolly mammoth is going across the ice. What do you think? I think he's going across some ice and some snow. We're going to put a little bit more snow over here, because I think there was a little bit more snow when he was going across it. Yeah, I think so. Yep. Little by little, we'll get there. So we're starting to see one woolly mammoth here, and the back end of a woolly mammoth there, and they are starting to appear. And this woolly mammoth too has a hump on his back, but then he's got his head over here. And it's got a little black ear. And we're going to spend some time on this because we really want to make our woolly mammoths look very real. And we're painting his tummy. Got kind of a big tummy. And we're going to paint his hoof just a little bit lower. Yeah, we're starting to see him. He's starting to come in there. So now it's easier to understand that that's a woolly mammoth because we have two of them. But one of my woolly mammoths is looking just a little bit too much like a giant mouse. Yeah, I think he's looking just a little bit too much like a giant mouse. So we're going to work on him a little bit. Gotta work on him. And I accidentally mixed some of the black with the gray, with the white. Now I got gray. But that's not so bad. Because I think I needed a little bit of gray. I'm going to put that hump on his back. Remember, woolly mammoths have a hump on their back. Almost like a little camel. Or a big camel, I should say. Yep. It's starting to look a little bit more like a woolly mammoth, and he's crossing that stream. It's icy. And the ice is not just on the water, the ice is over on the land too. Did you have fun painting? You painted some tiny pictures of animals in a big picture. And you did a good job. And those tiny animals really are big animals. They're woolly mammoths, but they're way in the distance, way up in the mountains by the streams. So it's kind of hard to see them because they're way in the distance, but you did a good job. Next time, we're going to paint some animals that are bigger. They're big like giraffes. I think we're going to paint some hippos coming up out of the water and getting onto the ark. We're going to paint maybe one hippopotamus down in the water, and then another one coming up onto the ramp. So let's think about that. Until next time, remember to clean your paintbrushes and brush your teeth and say your prayers. And click to subscribe and click to like. Thank you.